After that, I didn't have sex for maybe 2 years or so. It took me about 2-3 years to be comfortable with having sex with a man again. But in that moment, when it just happened, writing saved my life. Writing was the only thing I could do to sort my thoughts out, to clear my mind. And so I was writing. I was writing poems, and sometimes it would be, 3, 4, 5 poems in a day. Writing saved my life. And I wrote Seasons, my first poetry book, out of that moment. And I named the book Seasons, and I followed the theme of seasons, fall, winter, spring, summer, because that was such a transitional period in my life. I hit rock bottom. Writing was the only thing that made me feel better. Writing was the only thing that brought me any sort of comfort. I from there went into spirituality and metaphysics and crystals and things like that, because Christianity and the idea of the sort of invisible God that you can't touch, not having something physically there, it didn't help. And so I dove into spirituality and metaphysics in an effort to find ways to use my surroundings and physical materials to connect to God, spirit, something. I remember when I finally told my mom, she told me that it was my fault, and that God was punishing me for being a disrespectful daughter and not listening to her because she did not want me to attend Delaware State University in the first place, and blah, blah, fucking blah. Sorry, y'all. Should just be pissing me off. And that just shows how much of a fucking narcissist she is, bruh. Like, I'll make a separate video about narcissistic mothers. Different story for different time. But she told me it was my fault. And that was something that I deserved, and blah, blah, blah. Told my dad he didn't do anything. He didn't really have a response. He just kind of sat there. But at the same time, what can you do? And so I kind of went through life and moved forward. And I remember when I got to Morgan State University, which is my alma mater, I had two very interesting experiences with two white male professors. Dr. H, I can't remember his name. He's an English professor, and Dr. Brett. Dr. Brett's also an English professor. Nothing against those two gentlemen, but as a Black woman, I'm highly aware of how white men see Black women who are survivors of sexual assault and rape. White men, of course you don't give a shit. You were once the perpetrator of those kinds of things. So, of course, you don't fucking care, right? So, my first sort of experience with Dr. H, who coincidentally is married to a Black woman, I shared my book with those two professors. So I shared Seasons with Dr. Brett and Dr. H, right? I remember I shared the book with him, and I'm guessing they both read it, because the next day in class with Dr. H, the next class time, he coincidentally decided to have an entire class about rape. He decided, yes, yep, fucking white man, right? He decided to have an entire class about rape and sexual assault, decided to share this book with the class, and it's some book about some, I believe like an African gentleman who had a sexual experience with a woman, I guess that confused him or something like that. I don't honestly remember the specifics. But he had some sexual experience with a woman, and then at the end of the book, he meets that same woman later on in life, and she tells him that he raped her in that instance. And it like, I don't know, he went his whole life raping her and not realizing that it's rape or some bullshit. He was doing that not out of any sort of kindness or anything like that, but simply because he wanted to get a reaction from me. I remember he was continuously looking over at me and asking me if I'm okay about talking about this and blah blah blah, because you know, for white men, when it comes to rape and sexual assault, if they do not see the classic movie trope of a woman being hysterical and crying, and some blonde-haired white woman, you know, crying her eyes out and you know, whatever the hell, then, you know, if that's not how you're acting, then you weren't raped and all this other shit, right? That just proved, I mean, we all knew that he was like an ignorant ass, but that just really kind of solidified him being an ignorant ass. Matter of fact, hold on. Dr. Henze. Hi, Dr. Henze. That was Dr. Henze's class. Yeah, so that was what I got from Dr. Henze. Dr. Butler. Now, keep in mind, like I said before, I have nothing against these two gentlemen, but quite frankly, y'all some dickheads. Dr. Butler, when I shared my book Seasons with him. So for context, just so that you guys understand the kind of microaggression that I was experiencing at that point in time with Dr. Butler, I am a person who I look the way I look. There are some people who believe that I'm quite attractive. I have a bigger bottom, I'm a little bit more full in my hip area and so on and so forth. And I wear clothes that I like. You know, I can put on anything and some man will find it provocative, literally. So I just dress the way that I feel comfortable. I dress the way I like to dress. I think that I'm beautiful and that I should not have to hide or diminish that because men feel the need to be inappropriate. At that point in time, I was a junior in college. I was sitting in Dr. Butler's class, and this was after I gave him the book, and I'm guessing he read it. I think this was Halloween time. He made some comment about dressing too sexy. You know, white men always trying to act like, oh, you walked outside in a pair of tights, you're asking for it. Like, I don't know what the fuck wrong with y'all. For real. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with white men sometimes. I really don't. But he made some comment about like dressing too provocatively and that being an invitation for sexual assault. That being an invitation for rape. Cause you know, you're too attractive. Oh, you're so attractive, it's irresistible. You that is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. And I remember he looked at me when he made that comment. I just looked at him like, bro, what? And I remember my classmate sitting next to me, she was like, what is he talking about? And I was like, bro, I don't know. And we're sitting in the front row. I was like, bro, I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. He watched that little interaction happen, and I hope you picked up what I was putting down from that. I don't know. Huh. Okay, if anything, that just lets me know that you think that I look nice when I wear my clothes. Like that doesn't mean anything to me. I want to share all of these experiences from beginning to end and everything in between, because sexual assault is something that can happen to you at any point in time in your life. I have shared my story with family members, and I have had aunts tell me about being sexually assaulted and raped multiple times on different occasions and no justice being brought to them. As Black women, you know, when we are sexually assaulted, when we're sexually harassed, when we're raped, it's like, well, you're strong, you know, you deal with it. That, you know, just move on. And too many people, men and women, have that kind of attitude. There are also way too many men and women who deem sexual assault and rape as some type of justified punishment for being hyper attractive and presenting that to the world, or being sexually confident and presenting that to the world, exploring your sexuality, not adhering to society's definition of what it means to be a woman and purity and all of that kind of thing. And it's disgusting, and we need to stop. It's disgusting, and we need to stop. For real. We need to stop. We need to cut it out. And we need to stop allowing these unhealthy mentalities to fester. Quite frankly, I feel like everybody was wrong in this shit, bro. Real talk. Every fucking body. And I didn't even talk about later on, technically speaking, I'm still within my statute of limitations. So Quinn, if you want to come and holler at me, try me. For real. I remember when I was still back home a few years ago, I decided to try and file a report. I know somebody's gonna be like, girl, why? That's it's too late now. But still, for my peace of mind, for my mental, I decided to file a report and go to the police. I went to my local police and told them the situation, told them what happened, and they told me that it's outwards of their jurisdiction, which is something that I feel is very important for women, especially women on college campuses, to know. That when you are sexually assaulted on campus, that campus is in itself a jurisdiction. And so the only people that can handle that instance is not the state or county police, but in fact the campus police. And so I decided, okay, they told me to go to the campus police at Delaware State. I did. I spoke with Lieutenant Simmons, who very rudely brushed me off, very rudely ignored me. I tried to talk to the captain, and he said, you know, like, that's her. Like, unfortunately, I can't do anything. I tried to file a report. I couldn't really get a hold of Lieutenant Simmons. I was treated as if I was a liar. I was treated as if I was being dramatic. I was treated as if my experience was invalid and it didn't matter. It was not pleasant, and especially jarring and difficult to deal with, considering Lieutenant Simmons is a woman. But you know, she's a woman with a son, and women who give birth to men they just think differently. I don't know what type of shit y'all be on, but y'all are different. And when it comes to like men and sexual assault and all this other stuff, they have a very lenient type of attitude where, well, you know, what if it was my son? I don't want anybody saying anything like that about my son. Oh, my son, my son. You know, that kind of bullshit. There's no consideration. There's no care. You know, because everybody, you know, whatever. I don't know. But I'm sharing this because people need to understand that things like rape and sexual assault and sexual harassment, things like that are carried out and allowed in society within certain cultures. You know, certain types of behaviors from men are deemed as okay. For instance, I live in California and I live in a majority Mexican neighborhood. Oftentimes I'm hypersexualized, and I have men that like will follow me down the street and follow me around the grocery store. And to them, that shit is cute. And they think that that's entertaining and something that I enjoy, and it's not. It's creepy and it's disgusting, and nobody likes that shit. And that's not me picking on Mexicans, so don't even try that shit. That is just me sharing a very real and valid experience. It's gross. It's really, really gross out here. It's insane to me. Listen, sexuality is a spectrum, and I will respect the idea that sexual assault, sexual harassment, and rape all fall on a spectrum. You have men that do those things intentionally, and you have men that do those things unintentionally. In this case, with me, that was an intentional act. That was not a heat of the moment you cross the line type of, no. That was intentional. That was something that they planned on doing. That was something that they were cooking up. The mentality around it, around sexual assault, starts, from the moment you tap into your sexuality, from the moment you acknowledge your sexuality, and for some men and women, it happens before then. I had a friend who was sexually assaulted. She was raped when she was a girl. And that changed her sexuality forever. For me, it happened later on in life, and so I was able to process that instance differently. We, especially Black people, we allow that kind of behavior to go on because, we have too many women and mothers to sons who act like, how could you say that about my baby and all this other bullshit? Man, that is a grown-ass thinking person. That's not a little kid. And even if he was a little kid, it still wouldn't be okay. It still wouldn't be appropriate. So what are you really trying to say? And it's crazy to me that we really live in a society, we really live in a country where we have motherfuckers like Russell Simmons who can rape 20 plus women over the course of a decade or two, have all of those women come out and talk about it. And yet it's dispelled because Russell Simmons' crusty ass said, oh no, they're lying. And that's it. That's the end of the discussion. How are 20 women lying? Really? 20? Even if it's just one. Even if it's just one. That's enough for me. But then at the same time, we have this very uncaring, have this very uncaring type of reaction like, shut up, bitch, type shit. Don't, bro, psh, y'all, okay. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. A man or anybody can violate a person's physical body and physical space in that manner, and the only thing that they have to do to get out free on that shit is say they ain't do it. That's it? That's all you gotta do? Well, if life is that fucking easy, why can't I go to the bank and tell them niggas I got $1 million and they pull that shit out and put it in my hand? If life is that fucking easy, why can't I go to the car dealership, tell them niggas I want a car, and they put a set of keys in my hand? Since life is so fucking easy, since that type of shit is so fucking easy. Help me understand, y'all. Please, help me understand, because I surely don't. I surely don't. And you know what's so crazy? I remember growing up, being Christian. I remember the attitude that was instilled in me by way of religion when it comes to sexual assault and rape. The attitude of, oh, well, if that happens to a woman, then she must have been doing something. My nigga, I can't even buy groceries, bro, without a man trying to fucking harass me. Get out of here. What are you talking about? What are you saying? What are you talking about? And I remember prior to all of this, having that mentality. Oh, if a woman was raped or sexually assaulted, it's because she was doing something. oh, well, you should have known that he was like that. Let me tell y'all something. Any person on this planet, especially any person with a penis, has the potential to sexually assault, sexually abuse, and rape a person. Because it is a very thin fucking line. Okay? Very thin. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked. I don't even, bro, I can't even fathom. I can't even fathom. We have to stop, y'all. For real. We have to stop. We have to stop. We have to stop, bro. What is wrong with y'all, bro? And it's crazy because it took that very thing happening to me for me to understand that thinking that way, that anybody who experiences that is deserving of that type of action. It took me experiencing that to understand that mentality is wrong. I had to walk through that fucking fire to understand that shit is wrong. I get it, okay? Because the reality of it is there are so many men who, technically speaking, are sexual harassers, are sexual abusers, are rapists. And those men you're probably best friends with. That's probably your uncle. That's probably your father. That's probably your cousin, your brother. And you want to keep the blinders on because you don't want to live in that type of fear and in that type of shame, knowing that that's a part of your blood. That's a part of your family. That's something that vicariously you support. You don't even know you support that shit. Then you got people like Nicki Minaj. I understand stand by your man, sis. I get that. But y'all can look into that shit on your own. Okay? Nicki Minaj and her husband. Y'all can look into that shit on your own. Nicki is fighting so hard. And I don't give a fuck about no Barb coming at me talking about nothing. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Because all this shit is fact. And you can look this shit up on the fucking internet. It's what's really uncomfortable is the fact that she is fighting so hard for it. As opposed to sitting down with these men and women, because women can perpetrate sexual assault, rape, and sexual harassment as well. It's the fact that instead of sitting down with these men, bruh, and talking to them, conducting studies to understand what type of fucked up life and mentality did you have and you live in to commit these type of acts and then lie about it, brother? Like these men do not need us to believe them when they say they ain't do it. That's not what the fuck they need. What they need is some counseling. What they need is some help. Okay? What they need is a few years in the loony bin. Okay? Because clearly you're a crazy person. Okay? For you to do that and then lie and try to laugh shit off. Too many men out here committing these heinous crimes and laughing that shit off. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. But there are also too many women who will turn a blind eye to that shit. Who will say, oh, that's none of my business. That's none of my concern. Oh, it ain't your business, huh? It ain't your business till that nigga pull up on you. Then it's your business. Then it's your concern. Then you're worried. Then you're upset. Fuck out of here. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that shit. And who knows? Maybe Quinn will catch this video and try to come at me on some shit. That's fine. You can lie. But you know what the fuck happened. You can lie because it makes you feel uncomfortable to be so fucking disgusting. But you know what the fuck's good. You know what you did. You know what type of shit you on. You want to lie about it? That's cool. Solidify your place in hell. I don't care. Shit is dark out here, bro. Shit is dark out here. And too many of y'all don't care. Shit is dark out here and too many of y'all do not care. Too many of y'all are not worried. Too many of y'all are not concerned. And the least you could do is listen. That's the least you could do. Because you don't know how hard it is to recuperate from sexual assault, sexual harassment, and rape, especially rape, you don't know how difficult it is to find yourself again after something like that happens to you. You don't know how difficult it is to bounce back. You don't know how long it took me to figure out how to rebuild myself, let alone rebuild myself from that instance. To have a part of you burn down in your face. It's like having your house burned down and the fire department doesn't show up to put that shit out. And you just watching your house burn down. And people are telling you, oh, well, you shouldn't have left the stove on. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I know that I'm not the only one. But at this point, considering the fact that clearly motherfuckers don't care, and clearly motherfuckers want to turn a blind eye when it's convenient, the only way that we are, as a people, going to be able to combat this is if we learn to defend ourselves, hold people accountable for their actions, and we learn how to identify people like that. Because what you're not understanding is, for you to commit a crime like that, for you to do things like that, for you to behave in that manner, you have a certain type of mentality. We need to identify that string of consciousness that makes you think that that shit is okay. People who commit crimes like that not only need to be put in fucking prison, you need to go through some sort of rehabilitation, some sort of mental evaluation, if you will. Cause something wrong with you. We just need to figure out what the fuck it is. I don't know what happened. I don't know who did it and what for, but we need to figure out what it is. Because clearly you can't stop yourself. Clearly you don't care. You don't care, or you're not willing to have the genuine, sensitive, hurt and upset reaction out in public because you feel like that is you admitting to what you did. Help me understand. Help me understand. You can't tell me that this isn't a problem we can't solve. And I don't know how long it's gonna take. It's probably, I'm sure that my great grandkids probably still gonna be having to deal with this bullshit from you motherfuckers. But if we can reduce the occurrences, there has to be something that we can do. There has to be something we can do. I don't know if any of you guys know the real reason why, now excuse me if I'm being politically incorrect, I'm gonna say Middle Eastern for the sake of understanding. Women in these Middle Eastern foreign countries wear these garments that cover their entire body outside of religious reasons. Do y'all understand that that is protection from sexual assault and rape? Do y'all understand that way back in the day, when those women would get up in the middle of the night to go out and use the fucking bathroom, men in large groups would wait on these women and would be able to easily identify them because they wear certain types of clothing that shines in the dark. And that the only way for those women to go to the bathroom safely was to cover themselves, cover their entire body, because there's a group of men outside waiting for you to take a fucking piss. Fuck y'all. Y'all got me fucking chopped. For real. Chopped cheese. I don't know. Talk to me, y'all. Talk to me in the comments. Let me know what the fuck you think, cause this is some bullshit. For real. This is some fucking bullshit. Hold people accountable. Keep your friends and family safe. And stop sanctioning this type of behavior. When you see these little boys out here that are way too handsy, when the school keeps calling you, telling you that your son is touching on little girls and shit, stop it. Stop acting like that shit's okay. Stop acting like that shit all right. And that you don't need to pay attention to that. And that's just how boys are. That's disgusting. Stop it. The understanding of sex and sexuality starts way earlier than y'all want to think with y'all white Christian Anglo-Saxon Puritan asses. There are girls in elementary school who start menstruating. So you can't, I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to fucking hear it. Y'all sit there and observe these hypersexual behaviors in people, especially men. And y'all don't do shit. Y'all don't say shit. Y'all just say, oh, that's just boys and how they, that's disturbing. You're disturbed. And quite frankly, a bit disgusting. Certain types of mentalities are unhealthy. It doesn't matter if you have a dick or not. That's not healthy. Sound off in the comments, because I can sit here and go off about this shit to the fucking cows come home, okay? Sound off in the comments, y'all. Let me know. Talk to me. I ain't playing no bullshit. If somebody comes up in this comments defending any of the shit I'm talking about here, block. You're done. Get out. Because there's no place for you here. We need to start treating these people like the animals that they are. You want to act like that? Cool. Ostracize. We need to put them motherfuckers on an island. I don't know. But we need to send them somewhere. Because I'm tired of not feeling comfortable enough to go to the gym. I'm tired of not feeling comfortable enough to go to the fucking local grocery store. I'm tired. I'm so sick of it. I'm so fucking sick of it. But then if I react and tell your dusty ass to get the fuck out my face because don't nobody want you no way, I'm the mean one. Please, man, please. Y'all got me fucked up. On that note, I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.